Hey everyone, this is Rachel. I am not going to be on here long, but I just wanted to come in after just watching the news. Um, I've been watching CNN since, I got off work when I heard that 45 was leaving the hospital, y'all. I was like, what now? Now, the reason why I entitled this that we are living a real life episode of Twilight Zone is because this. Y'all, he just went to the hospital Friday. He tested positive. Remember, we just all discussed that we don't believe he got it. We do believe he got it. We believe it's all a political stunt. He was trying to get sympathy, blah, blah, blah. But then on the one hand, since Friday, do y'all know that a total of 25 people who have been around him are now tested positive for this virus? So this is why I came in, because he is sick and he's insane. Because just because he got that treatment at that hospital doesn't mean that he's COVID free. He's still testing positive for it. Basically, the drugs that they gave him pretty much just propped him up. He got some steroids, which they say reduces inflammation, and then he got that remdesivir, and I think they said that suppresses the virus. So they said along with that and all of the other stuff that he was getting, the oxygen and all that stuff, that he probably is feeling a little bit better because he's on steroids and all these other drugs. But what these doctors are screaming is that he's still positive, y'all. And think about it. He drove from the door of the hospital in that, you know, SUV with those Secret Service guys. Y'all know that the vehicle that the president rides in, this is what my grandfather used to tell me. My grandfather, one time me and my grandfather were talking about bulletproof glass. And I had asked my grandfather, when you go into these stores and you see this bulletproof glass, can those people behind the glass really feel safe? So my grandfather said that the only really, really true bulletproof glass is the vehicle that the president um, rides in. He said that the ones that you see in the store slow the bullet down. But if you ever go into a store, he said, have you ever seen holes in them? Meaning that it could be penetrated. It slows the bullet down. The point I'm trying to make is they said that those cars are hermetically sealed, meaning nothing's getting in and nothing's getting out. So, first of all, I feel sorry for the Secret Service guys that had to ride in the car with him. Because, see, y'all know I'm silly. You know what I'd have told his punk ass? I would have called him a fucking Uber back to the White House. And I would have been like telling the Uber driver, look, man, I don't know what to tell you. This joker got COVID and he done signed himself out the hospital because y'all know that pretty much that's what he did. He signed himself out. Then he gets okay, so he's already exposed those Secret Service guys that rode him just from the door of the hospital to the helicopter. Then he gets in the helicopter with those people in there and exposes them to it. Then they said that he took his fucking mask off. Now, y'all, it's a little different than us taking our masks off. The ones who have not tested positive. Okay, we take our masks off. We know that we're not positive. We haven't been diagnosed with COVID. Y'all, the difference between us and him is he's been diagnosed. And remember when I did my last video and I said I was on the fence, like y'all, I believe he a big liar. So I didn't believe him. I believe that he was tripping because of his performance at the debate. I also believe that he was trying to get the sympathy vote. But since then, when I see, I'm from Cleveland. And I know a lot about Cleveland Clinic. I got family members, quite a few, who work there, and they are saying that he definitely has it. They are saying that when they went up to his family, when they showed up late, because remember in my last video, I told y'all that, and I wanted to talk about this too. I told y'all that his whole administration showed up to the debate late. So they didn't get a chance to test them. Now I'm wondering, y'all, did he do that on purpose? Because he knew that they were going to test him and he knew that he already had it. See, remember, they're trying to get us to believe that he didn't know that he had it till Thursday. But remember, y'all, I left y'all with this. I don't believe that that girl gave him the virus. I believe he gave it to her. So that meant when he was at the debate, he already had it. So now, y'all, he has exposed all these people, came on television telling the country, don't be scared of COVID. Never mind the 200 and something thousand people who have died. Never mind the almost 8 million people that have been infected with it. Y'all, this bastard is dangerous. This man is going to get a whole bunch of brain dead, trailer park trash, or ignorant, stupid people who don't do their own research to find out what's true and what's not. He's going to get them killed. Because if you're following him and you believe what he's telling you and you take a chance, they even today, now y'all know Kamala Harris is supposed to debate Pence Wednesday. I thought it was Tuesday, but it's actually Wednesday. So Kamala was like, look, I'll come, but I'm gonna have to have a booth to be in with plexiglass to keep herself protected. Do you know that even though Pence has been exposed to it, which he should be quarantining, they are mocking her because she wants to protect herself because they don't believe it. They're not wearing masks. The president has been, diagnosed with it. And 25 people, y'all, if you look at all the people in the White House since he left Friday, there have been of confirmed to have it. Chris Christie, his plump ass, has signed himself into a hospital because he has asthma. Now, this is a respiratory virus where the people's lungs are covered. They say in a glass-like pattern, like a shattered glass pattern, where their lungs are all just filled. They get pneumonia. He can't fuck around. When you got asthma, you can, if it's a respiratory illness, and the sad part about it, y'all, is y'all know a lot of our people, I got a whole bunch of cousins that have asthma and really pretty much have not been out the house in months. So this man is he done flew his simple ass back to the White House, took his mask off, and for those in the White House who have not tested positive, he's about to give it to them. Do you know that when I knew his ass was on his way back to the White House, it would have been my last day working there? I would have been standing there like, is he here yet? Soon as that fucking helicopter would have landed, I'd have been walking out the door. Well, first of all, I wouldn't have been there because as I saw all these people falling like dominoes, y'all, I was on Facebook at work today, and over the past weekend, they kept on saying, okay, this one got it. This one got it. So when it got to about 3, I was like, wait a minute. This shit is real. So basically, this is what I wanted to ask the people who don't believe it. So y'all believe that everybody that he's come in contact with actually has it, but he doesn't. See, that doesn't make sense. Kate, that heifer, the bony one to be standing up doing the press briefings, Kaylee McNamee or whatever her name is, she has it. The one that got her bags done, got a facelift, Kellyanne Conway. And y'all need to follow Kellyanne Conway's daughter on YouTube. I think her name is Claudia Conway. She is pissed with her mother. I think she like 15 or 16 years old. And you know how when these kids go in their room, we tell them to stay off, social media, stay off their phones, don't be tweeting shit. Well, they can't stop this little heifer. So she is pissed because she's saying that her mother tested positive and didn't even tell them, meaning her father and basically her own family. I guess to protect the fucking president. So the Kellyanne Conway's daughter is pissed because she had to take a test, not even knowing that her mother was positive until everybody else knew her mother was positive. And she lived with the bitch. I don't blame her. So the girl is saying that she hasn't been feeling well, that if it basically comes back that she got it, I guess she about to whoop her mother's ass. Yo, when I was reading the stuff that this little girl posted, I was like, because she was trying to become emancipated because she wants away from her mother. So getting back to Trump. So if all of these people around him got it, these senators, Cleveland said, where they held the debate, Cleveland said when they left there, do you know that 11 people in Cleveland have tested positive for coronavirus just because of the debate being there? This is some bullshit, y'all. This is what I said on Facebook. I said, when he gets back to the White House, they need to tell him, Mr. President, there is something down in the basement that we need you to see is very important. We need to go down there and check the bunker. Let's just tell him we're checking the bunker again. Let him go first. When he starts down the fucking stairs, lock his ass in. Lock him in and make his ass stay down there for the next few weeks, because y'all, just because he had treatment doesn't mean that he's no longer positive. Everybody in that White House, from the people who cook for him to the people who clean it, everybody in the White House is now in jeopardy. To me, this man is like fucking Satan or something. To me, it's almost like he's trying to kill motherfuckers. Then the brain dead bastard said he's about to go back out on the campaign trail. What I'm wondering, y'all, is at what point, and this is all jokes aside, at what point do the Republicans stop kissing his ass or get their heads up out of his fucking ass and stop him? Because y'all, if we don't, we still got to make it to the election and then just say Biden, God help us, please let him win. Just say Biden wins. We still got all the way until January. So this is just October. We got November, December, and then most of January, because the change of power, I don't believe it happens until like January 20th. We still got almost 3 months for him to be traveling around the country, or at least, in other words, we still got 3 months to be dealing with this simple idiot, y'all. He's a fucking moron. And I could just picture the scene in the White House. I mean, at that hospital. So you mean to tell me his punk ass was sitting there like a spoiled brat, whining, I want to go home. I don't want to be in the hospital. Think about, they took him on a fucking joyride like you do a whiny child when they won't go to sleep. He probably was sitting in the hospital whining to the point where they said, look, go get the car, pull it out front, just to shut this motherfucker up. Let's take him for a ride. They rolled his stupid ass around the fucking corner just to make him happy. Do y'all realize this motherfucker is the age of my mother? My mother If I'm 55, y'all know my mother had to have me at, at least 21. She was married. So let's just say, because I think my mother is 75. He's my mother's age. My mother does not sit around whining and like a fucking spoiled brat. So first of all, they took him on a joyride. Then he got back in there after his joyride, and they got him some suckers and popsicles and cotton candy along the way. Then he got back in there and he was like, I'm still bored, I want to go home. So they was like, what now? Your bitch ass want to go home now. And y'all, I'm sorry I'm cussing, but this is how I feel. Your bitch ass want to go home now to the White House. Yeah, I want to go home. Don't those doctors that are coming out, if you read between the lines and you are an adult, they don't agree with this, but they don't have a say so. They say he is not up out the woods. They are explaining to you that basically the medication that they gave him, it just props you up. Now, the difference between him and us, when he gets back to the White House, y'all know that the White House has a medical facility in it. So he has doctors there that will be with him 24 hours a day and keep him monitored and his temperature and the blood pressure and all that bullshit. But just say something go left in the simple minded, stupid, moronic idiot gets sick again. If I was Walter Reed, I would deny him access back. I would be like, no, you wanted to take your punk ass home. You're home now. You can't come back. Do you know how it must feel to those people who have lost loved ones who did not get? He had fucking 10 doctors, y'all. 10 doctors treating him. Everybody. Disease management doctor, heart doctor, blood doctor. I'm just making up shit, but it was 10 doctors. The average person is not going to have that. Not only did he have 10 doctors, he also got medications that the FDA have not even approved of. Then he got remdesivir. Then he also got a cocktail of shit. Think about the people whose family members died in the hospital by themselves. Nobody there to come visit them. Think about that. Okay, I know he the president, but let me tell y'all something. To me, bottom line is he is no better than you or me. And because of the way he's lived his life in a type of arrogant, narcissistic, asshole, unfeeling, hasn't even acknowledged really all these people who are dead, he's worse than us. He doesn't even deserve the type of care that he received. There are people that when they show their life stories and how they dedicated their lives to helping other people throughout their life, just good people, God took them away. And you got this fucking fool, y'all. And I know people keep saying that he is the worst president that we ever had in history. And we all chuckle and we say stuff like, yeah, girl, he is the worst one. But no, 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 y'all. It's not a chuckle. I don't know how old you are, but stop for a moment and think about all the presidents that we've had in your lifetime that you are old enough to remember. We thought George Bush was stupid, you know? But one thing that I've noticed about George Bush, now don't get me wrong, when Katrina happened, I wanted to, go to the White House and whoop his ass because of all those people that died down, you know, during Katrina. But at least I believe that George Bush has some type of humanity. I also believe that even though we didn't agree with George Bush's politics, George Bush knew his limitations. So he surrounded himself with a lot of people that were in Reagan's administration, his father's administration, the people that were qualified. He did not believe that he knew more than they did. Now, they all didn't think like we did. Their politics were the same as ours, but at least he was smart enough to know I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I need some people. This man The one that's y'all president now, he's smarter than the scientists, let him tell it. He knows more than them. He's smarter than the medical community. He knows more than them. I sat up and listened to him talk about Dr. Fauci. Now, I know a lot of people have a lot of problems with Dr. Fauci, but let me just say this about Dr. Fauci. He has been around since the beginning of AIDS. Back, a lot of y'all were not around when AIDS first started. This man helped the country through AIDS, Ebola, SARS, H1N1. Why now? Why now? He's world renowned, disease expert, world renowned. Why now is it a problem? When he was helping us find treatments for AIDS, he was good. When he was helping us find treatments for Ebola, it was good. SARS, it was good. But because Donald Trump has put a question to his credibility. Now, mind you, in the 80s, I was 18, 19, 20. I'm 55. If Dr. Fauci has been around since the 80s, this has been like 30 and 40, 30 years. This man knows what he's talking about. Trump don't believe him. So they sideline Dr. Fauci. And it's almost like Dr. Fauci has to sneak out, do a sneak interview. Basically, Dr. Fauci is telling y'all, don't listen to that simple idiot in the fucking White House. Listen to science and medicine. Another thing, y'all. When did we stop believing in science? When did we stop believing in doctors? When did we, for that matter, start believing in the media? Okay, I'm not saying that whatever is posted on the news that I believe everything, because I believe every station puts their own spin on it. But to say that everything that the media reports on is fake news, everything, y'all, it wasn't fake news when Obama was president. It wasn't fake news when the Bushes and the Clintons and the Carters and the Reagans, it wasn't fake news then. But now, since we got Donald Trump, the only news that he said is legitimate is Fox News, but everything else is legitimate. Do y'all see what I mean when I say we are living in a real life episode of the Twilight Zone? Because everything that was our norm, he doesn't believe in the FBI, the CIA, the Pentagon, the nothing that's America. He talks about the soldiers. They're this, they're that. Until he was here, we believed in our CIA. We believed in our intelligence community. But now, since they got shit on him, now they're crooked. So, in other words, and I'm going to tell you something else. If I was a Secret Service guy, it would have been my last day today, too. Because when he would have walked out the White House, y'all, it would have been an Uber waiting on him or a Lyft. I would not have helicoptered his punk ass nowhere. I would not have driven him anywhere. I would not even have been near him. It would have been a car waiting outside front. When he would have got in, he would have saw all kind of Uber stickers and Uber emblems all over the fucking car. And he would have been like, oh, wait a minute, is this my ride? And I would have turned to him from far away and be like, excuse my French, y'all. Yes, you bitchy ass whiny motherfucker. That's your car. We're not flying you to the airport. To the White House. Get your whining ass in that car and shut the fuck up. Actually, I hope, y'all, and then I'm getting out of here because I was just outdone. First of all, I was outdone when he went on his joyride. But then today, when I was getting off work, I was like, wait a minute, he's leaving the hospital and he's still positive? So where in the White House is he going to stay quarantined in a certain wing of the White House? And then, do you know that every vehicle he's in, every helicopter he's in, do you know what they have to do to that vehicle when he gets out the cleaning that's going to have to go in and decontamination that's going to have to go into those vehicles? Man, whatever. Y'all, Y'all, what is going on in America? Then you got part of the population of America. I actually think that he has sent out some some type of hypnosis over the airwaves, and those of us who are immune to his charms, it's not affecting us. But these other people, y'all, because this is beyond, you know, I mean, I liked Obama and Michelle, but if they was talking some silly shit, that would have been a wrap for me. These people are beyond just, okay, this is my president. I like Obama. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna support him. There's a such thing as support, and then there's something that they're talking about now is cultish, y'all, because the only thing that I could think that got all these people mesmerized by this, y'all, I'm cussing like a sailor, but I won't be monetizing this. I'm gonna let it rip. This cocksucker, as my grandmother would say. The only thing that I could think is he's sending some type of shit through the airwaves. And for those of us, like I said, who we look at him and we like, oh, this punk motherfucker. Ain't nobody listen to this bullshit he talking. We can block it. But you got those weak-minded people that I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with them, y'all. But what's scary is it's not a few. It was enough to get him elected. So I'm gonna tell y'all what my mother said. I took my mother shopping this weekend, grocery shopping. And as you're with your mother, they rattle on in the car. My mother was like, you know what, Rachel? I'm not gonna get my hopes up high about whether Biden is going to win. She said he's a good man. And my mother believes that Biden will be good for the country because, he does understand the office of the presidency. He's been a senator for like 30 years. He is compassionate and all that. But this is what my mother said. My mother said she's not getting her hopes up because she did last time and he didn't win. And she was like, after she seen Trump in action and how crooked they are, that she wouldn't put it past him winning again. And she doesn't. Now, this is what my mother told me. Y'all, now I got to backtrack 4 years ago. I don't know if y'all was around 4 years ago, but November 5th, 4 years ago, I had a fire in my home and I had to stay with my mother until they got where I live at, back together. So when I was living with my mother I was right after the election. Now let me tell y'all, the night of the election, my mother and her sisters were on the phone. Remember I told y'all they almost 80. When I tell y'all I couldn't be disappointed because Trump won, because the conversation, and old people have their phone on speaker. The conversation that my mother and her sisters were having was so funny, y'all, because when they announced, this shit ain't funny, when they announced that Trump had won, in unison, they all was like, what? You know how dramatic old black women is, y'all. I was rolling. My mother was like, Rochelle, get in here. Find my heart medication. This motherfucker done won. I think I'm about to have a fucking heart attack. Y'all, I was disappointed, but I couldn't because Trump had won too. But my mother and her sisters had me laughing so bad. So while my mother is going through all her medications, finding her right glasses. Now listen to the picture, y'all. My mother was trying to find her right glasses, her right spectacles, so she could read the medicine because she didn't remember the name of it. And like she was like, I know it when I see it, find my goddamn glasses. So I was trying to like, is it this one? No, she was like, no. So while my mother trying to find her glasses so she could take her heart medication, remember her phone is on speaker. So I hear my aunts, they up there with my mother's age too. They about to pass out on the phone. So I'm on the phone like, Auntie, this, you okay? You know how you be talking to us? No, baby. tell my mother's name is Diane. They was like, tell Diana, girl, I feel faint. I was like, do you? Is it anybody? Because we don't live in the same city. We live in Columbus, Ohio. They live in Cleveland, so it wasn't like I could get to them. So I was like, hang in there, you gonna be okay. But what's funny is, so fast forward 4 years, we back at it. So this is what my mother told me. She was like, baby, you know the last time this bastard won. She said, I damn near had a fucking heart attack, baby. She said, so this time I'm not even gonna get my hopes up. I'm not gonna think about it, because she said, if this, now this is how my mother and them talk. My mother was like, if this cocksucker win again, because I had told my mother that I was thinking about moving to Canada. My mother was like, baby, if you don't mind, I'd like to go with you. Because I was like, I'm going to go for 4 years and I'm going to come back if he win. My mother was like, I might. She said, you might not have to worry about me for long, baby, because you know I'm almost 80. I probably won't be around for long. So you probably got 2 good years that you got to have me living with. You know how they feel all dramatic. But the whole point my mother was trying to make is, y'all, I don't just think Biden and them is going to win. Now, by right, with all that Trump has done every day the last 4 years, his ass, we shouldn't even have to vote. November 3rd, we should wake up and Biden automatically won. But Trump and them are so crooked. I believe all that stuff. They're colluding with the Russians. I believe all that bullshit, y'all. I believe all of it. Now think about it. Because he got all this crookedness in his heart, he's also even told his supporters to go to the polls and watch us. Okay, y'all, I keep telling y'all that Ohio is Trump country. Ohio, on our, just this past weekend, these some of my bitches was on the highway having a Trump, I guess, follow the leader parade with their pickup trucks. Do you know these motherfuckers got to shooting? And I guess they shot up some cars on the highway. This is now, people were leaving them alone. You got to think they're on the highway. It's not like it was crowds standing, like protesters standing in the middle of the highway. They just, the thought that somebody might oppose them, they got to shooting. This is Trump country down here. I don't know why, because the very people that support him here in Ohio, they poor. Y'all, they live, where they live at is country. They live in what you call those double wides. Literally, some of the streets that they live on, they're the street name is their last name because their families have been on that land for so long. So their twisted asses, he has brainwashed them. Here's what I think is going to happen. I actually believe that if the bitch lose, that these people that he has brainwashed these last 4 years, I actually believe they're gonna go crazy, y'all. They're gonna go crazy. Rachelle will not be out the house. I'm gonna run up here, and then I've been thinking about going to just go vote early. Just get up, because I think where our voting early place is, it opens really early. I might just run up there because on November 3rd, y'all, I don't think I want to be outside. Because if he loses, I don't know what state y'all live in, but Ohio's a red state. And even where I live at in Columbus, it's a little Trumpy here too. These motherfuckers is gonna lose it. They already walking around with assault rifles and shit. I think that a lot of us need to be in the house on that day. Now, something else my mother says, and then I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get out of here. My mother said she said if Biden wins, the way what my mother explained is, she said what it took Trump just 4 years to tear up and destroy in America, it's going to take years for them to fix all this and at least get us back to where we were the moment that Barack Obama walked down those stairs and he walked up into that helicopter and he flew away. Because remember, y'all, we done had so much shit with this president. Do y'all forget that we had 8 years of relative peace? Like, there was no scandal. It wasn't stuff every 5 fucking minutes with the Obamas. Like them or hate them, they didn't keep us upset and worried. Do y'all think of all the shit we've been through in the last 4 years? We almost was at war. Russia put bounty on our soldiers. He didn't even, y'all, he didn't even address that. It's proven. This is what our intelligence agencies told the fucking president. Russia has put a bounty on American soldiers, meaning they told the rest of the world, kill them and we'll pay you. Okay? We don't went through babies in cages, families separated, Muslim bans, building walls, and think of all the shit. Then 2020, the last year when we thought, okay, we only got a few months, this son of a bitch will be out, and God help us, let somebody get in that got some sense, and we'll be all right. We're just gonna have to just, bear it for just a few more months, and his punk ass will be out. Then what happened? A fucking global pandemic hit. Now, Trump talks about the rest of the world, but isn't it funny? We the badass United States. And prior to him, we were. We led the world. And okay, this how you do stuff. Do it our way, and y'all be okay. It ain't like that no more. Because the way that America did it, that's why we got over 200 something thousand people dead. The way America did it, that's why we got 7 million people. It originated, okay, I give it to him. He keeps saying it's the China virus. We'll give it to him. They was over there, y'all know back then, I ain't trying to be funny. Y'all know when this shit started, they was showing all kind of pictures of them eating bats and dogs and shit. Y'all know that. So don't say, Rachel, you tripping. Okay, let's just say it's the Chinese virus. Okay. But here's the thing. They don't even got I don't even think they got 5,000 deaths, let alone 200, over 200 and some thousand deaths, and almost 8 million people for it to have originated there. Now, Trump keeps saying, oh, that's because they're not telling the real numbers. People would be missing, y'all. Okay, don't you think they would have reported, okay, we got 4 or 5,000, we got 10,000. Okay, what about Italy? Remember, Italy was having it real bad. They didn't even have as many as what we have. And we're the big, bad United States, y'all. And I'm going to tell you something else about being an American that I learned years ago. I told y'all, anybody that's watched my channel, y'all know that I used to be a travel agent. I did it for about 15 years. In those 15 years, I got a chance to travel out the country a couple of times. And being an American, I really had never been on another continent. I'm not talking about riding down to the Caribbean, going down there. That is off our actual land, but we're still very much near America. But when you travel over the oceans, and you're traveling over the ocean for hours, and then you arrive onto another continent. The first thing that my kids asked me when I got back was, Mom, did it feel like you were on another continent? I said, the moment I got off the plane, I knew that I was not in America. The moment that I got off. First of all, immediately I couldn't read anything. I didn't understand the signs. I didn't understand my money. I didn't understand why they had these big ass German Shepherd dogs running through the airport, jumping all over you. The German Shepherd dogs that they got over here, y'all, look like little bitches compared to the dogs that I flew into this airport called Malpensa in Italy. That's all I remember. The fucking dogs German Shepherds I saw over there are German Shepherds. These dogs look like kings, and the German Shepherds we got over here look like little mud bitches of those kings over there. So when I was over there, the one thing and I did a video about this before. First of all, y'all, I was traveling with 6 other people, and they were white. And I was the only chocolate chip in the bag, y'all. So the one thing that I noticed when I was over there is that they treated me very, very well. better than what I have ever been treated in the United States in all of my 55 years. Everywhere I went, people went out of their way to speak to me. At first, y'all, it felt kind of funny. I said, are they trying to set me up to kill me? This little black girl from America, blah, blah, blah. So I had met a couple on the train, on the U-Rail, and they were real nice to me too. So finally, they were so nice. I said, why is everybody over here? In America, I told them, I'm African American, blah, blah, blah. And, the reality of African Americans in the United States. But now that I'm over here in Europe, I've been noticing that everywhere I go, people, they weren't, just put it this way, y'all, they were so nice that I noticed it. It was too much. They were nice to me and they were not nice to the white ladies that I was with. Like we would go out to dinner, they would serve me first. They would bring the menus and like talk to me. So eventually I met a couple and I just came out and asked them. And they said, what it is that we watch America, we see what happens over there, and your people are kind of mistreated and they've been mistreated. They was like, don't think that we don't know that. And the couple told me, I don't know, you know, every person that you ran into, but obviously they feel like we do. We want to show you that over here that we don't see just that you're black. We want you to feel welcome in our country. Y'all, I was so shocked. Another thing that I noticed is that the Italians over here look, how can I put this nicely, look kind of white. And the Italians over there are ruddy and darker, looking more like Puerto Ricans, kind of. They're darker, and Hawaiian, they're darker. So as I traveled around there after those people had told me, this is what I came away with. I said, Americans always think that every other country is jealous of us. They want to live here if they could only get to America, blah, blah, blah. And for some people, that is true. People that live in those countries where things are bad, they hear about America, and it is the great beacon on the hill where they can come and get a job and they could, blah, blah, blah. But if you go or have ever been to another country and you just walk around, you realize how new America is, how arrogant we are. When you are over someplace else, remember I said that the first thing that I noticed, y'all, to get your money and you don't even know if this is a 20 or if this is 10, what is these coins? What do this shit equal? What am I paying for? How much is the trade? They were explaining to me. I went to McDonald's, ordered a value meal. I just like put my money out and was like, take what I owe and give me the change. I don't even know what the fuck this shit is. Looked like Monopoly money. I didn't even know what it was. They were so kind to me. Everybody there, you know how we treat foreigners? You better learn the language. I didn't know how to speak Italian. Y'all, I grew up in the fucking hood. Where's we speaking Italian at? But every place I went, I would be sitting there like looking at a sign like, I wonder what the fuck that say. I must have been looking confused because they would come up and they would be like, American? And I would say, yeah, because they could tell by the way we dress. And they were like, this is what this says. Where are you trying to get to? Catch this train, blah, blah, blah. Funny thing is, when foreigners are over here, look how we treat them. But when we go over there, all of them knew a little bit of English, just enough. Now I couldn't speak to them, but they could speak to me. What I did a lot of is pointing to stuff. Well, okay, I want to eat. I'm hungry. Do you know what orange juice is? Do y'all have ham for breakfast? How do you say egg in Italian? I want some eggs and shit. I want breakfast. What is this? Coffee. Y'all said this is Cafe Americana. This shit tastes like motor oil and it's thick. I think I could pour this in the fucking car and it'll take off. This ain't no American coffee. They were laughing. The point I'm trying to make is the rest of the world is sick to fucking death of us. He has alienated us from people that were our friends, and our enemies really hate us. Americans need to stop thinking that we are the only country in the world and that we are the best. Honestly, y'all, when I was over there, I was sitting on a train. me and my little black girl head, because y'all gotta think, when you are experiencing something like that, there are moments that you are sitting there and you're like, I cannot believe that this little girl from the hood is over here writing on this URL. I'm going through Milan. Where else did I go to? Um, Switzerland. I went to Venice. I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is incredible. I wish some of my family could be here with me. Forget them white ladies that I was with. You know, they was used to traveling. I was sitting there thinking, God, I wish some people that I loved could experience. Here I am walking into a castle that they said Napoleon fought some fucking war or battle in, or this is really a drawbridge. This actually, like they told us, we're going to take you to such and such castle. So, you know, my little self, I'm sitting there like, is it really going to look like a castle? We pull up and I'm like, oh my God, it's really a drawbridge. This shit look like something out of Harry Potter. The point I'm trying to make is, you know how they say we're the greatest civilization? We haven't been the only civilization in the world. We need to stop being so arrogant. Y'all, we got so much work to do to get back to, like I said, that moment when Barack Obama walked down those stairs, him and Michelle, and they walked up on that helicopter and they turned around and waved their final goodbye. Because, like I said, whether you like him or not, we had 8 years of peace. And that's why when this bull in the china shop came in, just came in on some bullshit, you know, just, well, my inauguration crowd was bigger. Bitch, no, it wasn't. We saw the pictures. You didn't have the same amount of people that Barack did. You didn't. But in your twisted, simple, narcissistic mind, you envisioned, y'all. Do y'all know how insane this is? I mean, we gonna look back on this time, y'all. I keep telling y'all, I don't have no grandkids, but one day I'm going to have it. So when shit happen, I know I get on my kids' nerves. I be texting them, like, pay attention. History is being made. One day you're gonna have some kids and they're gonna ask you about this. But think about it, y'all. We gonna have some grandkids, and or you got grandkids now, but they babies. But one day, just like we asked our parents, like, what was it like? Like, my father accidentally told me that he went to the march on Washington. I had been knowing the man at the time. I probably was like 36. And he mentioned it one day. I was like, what? You went to the march on Washington? Why you just now telling me that? He was like, well, you never asked. I said, I never even, wait a minute, tell me what happened. He was like, no, girl. It wasn't like I was all involved. He said it was a free trip. They was like, you don't got to pay for nothing. Just get on the bus. So my father was a young man, I guess like in his early 20s, 19 or something. So he just got on the bus and went. But there's going to come a time where our grandkids are going to be asking us about this time. Like, they're going to be reading about it. Like, my mother, when we were in school, my mother, like, we would be reading about civil rights, and my mother was like, hand me the book. I want to see what it says about what happened in the 60s. And my mother was reading it while she was cooking. I'll never forget. My mother was like, this is some bullshit. She was like, it's 2 pages. She was like my mother looked at it and I remember her reading it, and then she flipped to, and she was like, well, that's it. So the whole civil rights era was just 2 pages in a fucking book. Slavery was a page and a half. She was like, this is some bullshit. So what's going to happen, y'all? Our grandkids going to be asking us, what happened? How did y'all elect him? Well, I didn't vote for this bastard. And as I told y'all, I almost lost my mother and my aunts the night he was elected. Because 3 of them, it was my mother, her 2 sisters, they was on the phone. And I told y'all, they elderly, they damn near had a heart attack. They couldn't believe that shit. Even when I think about it. Now, it's funny. But on November 3rd, y'all, I'm going to be over my mother's house because she's 4 years older now. And I think if Trump win again, I think it's going to take my mother on out here, because when I go over there, we could be talking about Like I took her shopping and I was selling, like we could be talking about, I was like, get some peaches. They don't sell. Did you hear what that son of a bitch? I'm like, who are you talking about? You know how your parents just come out with a story, like they'll start talking to you sitting there like, we was just talking about peaches. Who is she? Like, and she'll talk for like 40 minutes and then you get a chance to say, well, who was you talking about, Ma? That goddamn Trump. I was like, oh, I thought we was still talking about the fucking peaches. We was talking about some peaches, y'all. I was telling her, get these peaches. They're really good. My mother was like, and another thing, that motherfucker, did you see her? I'm like, who are you talking about? You know, they are so, they're so disturbed by all the shit that he's doing because y'all, this shit is not normal. How do he got all these people brainwashed? What do y'all think he's doing? I, now I'm gonna be keep it real, y'all. I think the bastards is is the Antichrist. I'm just gonna keep it real. Now I know my friends be laughing at me. They be like, Rachel, you tripping. But here's the thing. How is it that he is able to convince all these people around him to blindly follow him, y'all? How? Like what is he doing? Is it this is why I'm coming in here today. I'm sitting here in Ohio and I don't know what states y'all in. And I watch the news and then I turn it off and like, for real? They let him out the hospital. Like he going back to the White House. He about to infect all these people. Them simple ass Secret Service man got in the car with him. He'd have been in that motherfucker by himself. He'd have been stuck in traffic driving. Like I'm telling y'all, I would have called this bitch asses an Uber. They would have been like, and then he would have had to pay for the motherfucker because I wouldn't have paid for it. I would have been like, and hopefully you got a credit card with you because Uber is going to charge your punk ass when you get out. So have your money ready. How did we get here, y'all? How did we let it get so bad? I'm going to tell y'all when I knew that America was turning their heads to what was happening in the country, just like the Germans did when they were killing the Jews. When they took those kids from their parents at the border and they lost those babies, when the courts ordered them, get those kids back to their parents, they didn't even know which child belonged to which parent. They lost them. When I heard that they were down there raping those kids, when I saw the conditions that they had those kids in, do y'all know I did a video about it? And let me tell you something about my people that disappointed me. I don't care what color, or just put it this way. If it's another person of color, because of what Black people went through, I wasn't raised like that. I could have empathy for those Mexican people because all they were trying to do was get to America to get to a better life. And to have your child taken from you and then y'all separated, you don't know if your child is alive. Let me tell you what some of the comments in my comment section was. Who gives a fuck? Now, this is Black people. Other Black people, other people of color, Mexicans don't care about us, blah, 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 blah. It was all these comments. And I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? This is sad. I said, so people who have been through hell like we have, 400, over 400 years, we can't have empathy for another group of people whose babies was taken from them and blah, blah, blah. I just couldn't understand y'all. I was not feeling the comments in there. I just was not feeling it. I stopped reading them after a while because I said, have we as Black people got so arrogant that now we can't have empathy for another group of people? Because I thought about if that was me and my kids, my two kids, and we were trying to escape America and run somewhere across the border, just say to Canada, and we get to Canada and they take my kids from me and I don't know where they are. Babies, y'all. So the baby can't even, okay, if they take a 1 or a child 1 or under, that child can't even say my mom is such and such and my dad's name is this. They were taking babies. Then you losing them in the system. Then they're dying. Do you know how many of those Mexicans have died fucking with America down in those border camps? That we just ignored them. That shit is going to be written in the history books too, because it's going to say what happened and how largely we as Americans ignored what was happening. Like we might have said that's a damn shame what Trump did to those people, but we didn't press so hard. But it's almost like the majority of America is brainwashed, y'all, and this shit is scary. This is this is all jokes aside, y'all. This shit is scary because we never had a president. Y'all, I lived through Reagan, and I remember my mother and them talking about him. Reagan was like he was for rich people. If you was poor, you could forget it under Reagan. And we was talking about trickle down economics and all that bullshit. But he wasn't cruel. Trump don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck. Obviously, he don't, because his wife, that bitch, that hooker in the White House, she tested positive too, but their son didn't. Okay, let me just tell y'all this. Just say that I had gone somewhere. Now, this is when my kids were younger. And I went to the doctor because I wasn't feeling good. And I get there and they tell me that I have a very highly contagious disease that could be passed on to my kids. And just say that afternoon, I had to pick my daughter up from school and my son was going to come home from school. Do y'all know I wouldn't go home? Because I wouldn't want to jeopardize them. He don't give a fuck about Barrett. He doesn't care. He probably was like, I'm still going. Baron better stay out my way. This man don't care. And I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get out of here. The next few weeks, because they said that Trump is still with this COVID, he's in the calm before the storm. Now let me tell y'all, I know a few weeks ago I came in here and I told y'all I was trying to date. My sister and them talked me into signing on to these damn what you call these online dating sites. So I said, what the fuck? We can't go out anyway. I'll try to meet somebody on here. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all 2 men that I met. Well, I'm not gonna say I met. Let's just put it this way. I talked to him. So let me tell y'all the first one. I was talking to him for a couple of days. I said, oh, I kept looking at his picture. I was like, oh, he kind of cute. All right. All right, daddy. You know how you playing. You're thinking, I can't wait to meet you. Y'all, the second week, he called me. This bitch gonna tell me he had COVID back in March. I said, well, what? Wait a minute. What did you just say? He was like, and I'll say this was like May. I think it was May or June. I said, wait a minute, you had COVID back in March. So I said, well, tell me, how you feel. Because I knew that after this conversation, I was blocking him everywhere, but I wanted to hear his whole story. So he was telling me how he felt, how you get sick. The first few days, he wasn't that sick. And it was the second week. He said that he thought he was making it. He had made it through the first week. He said, I'm not going to lie. The first week, I wasn't feeling good. He said, but Rachel, that second week, he said, I thought I was going to die. He was like, I went to sleep one night, and when I woke up the next morning, I could barely get, he said, like a huff of air out. So I listened to his story and I was like, well, I see you. I talked to you tomorrow, baby. You know how you be like that. As soon as I hung up, I was like, fuck that. I'm blocking him here because think about it, y'all. They said that shit could go away and come back. He wasn't about to affect me. And then let me tell y'all about the other one that I talked to. So I met this other one online. I ain't met him in person. I met him. So I figured let's talk for a few minutes. So I talked to him a couple of days, and I must say these brothers are being very honest. Around the 5th day, this motherfucker gonna tell me, I have something to tell you. I said, okay. Because you know how preparing yourself. Y'all, I'm silly. So I was preparing myself. I was like, what is it? He was like, I have an ankle monitor on. I said, what? He was like, I just wanted to tell you that I have been incarcerated in the past. So again, in my head, I was like, okay, let's see. Let me see what he gonna say. So I said, well, okay, well, it's been a lot of brothers that have been wrongly incarcerated. I said, now I'm telling him this, y'all, but I'm thinking to myself, I ain't fucking with you either. But I was like, I wanted to hear his story. So he had told me how, he had been in jail, he got out, and he was saying that because he had an ankle monitor. Now, remember, y'all, I was just thinking I wasn't going to date him, but y'all going to think I'm crazy when y'all. Shit, my sister said, Rachel, you got issues. So he was saying, I said, well, okay, when you have on an ankle monitor, because I ain't never dated nobody I'm 55. I ain't never dated nobody with no damn ankle monitor. So I was like, well, like, what can you go? Because he said that he was restricted where he can go. So he wasn't going to be able to come. He can't come visit me. We could talk on the phone. So I was like, okay. So he was like, well, I can go to work. And he said, I can go to the grocery store. And it was one other place that he said he can go. I said, well, you know what? I was about to kick you to the curb because, I ain't trying to be funny, but I wasn't trying to date nobody with no damn ankle monitor. I said, but due to COVID, you might be a good catch. Your motherfucking ass can't go nowhere. You only could go to work. They wear a mask. And he said that even though he could go to the grocery store, that his sister had been doing the shopping for him because, she didn't want him to get in trouble. She wanted him to, because he only had a couple more weeks or something before he had the ankle monitor off. So I think I offended him, y'all, because I was like, hold up, bruh. You can only go to work and where now? And it was only 3 places. And one of the places he wasn't having to go because his sister was doing it for him. So I said, you know what? I was about to not speak to you again, but I think you might be a good catch. And he was like, what now? I said, well, due to the fact that we are in the midst of a global pandemic, and I said, this is kind of like when AIDS first came out and you wanted to tell the person, before me and you start really dating, let's go get an AIDS test. You bring me your results and I bring you. I was like, well, because you can't go nowhere. I said, look like you been on lockdown quarantine because your damn ankle monitor. I said, I might want to date you because at least I know you ain't got fucking COVID. His bitch ass never called me again. I guess I offended him. I was like, so now I'm being offensive to ex-cons. But my sister was like, Rochelle, you said that to that man. I said, I sure did. Because he clean, he can't go nowhere. He said he just be in the house all day, and he said, well, I got everything in the house and blah blah blah. I was like, man, look, you a good catch, but I guess he was like, not today. He kicked me to the curb. But y'all, that's all. I didn't even know I was gonna be chit chatting this long. I'm just telling y'all, wear y'all masks, be careful because it is people out here that probably got it like Trump who may not even be telling us. I really have not been interacting other than with my kids and of course my mother, but my siblings, we really haven't seen each other. Like we see each other on Facebook, and that's since March, y'all. And that's no lie. The last time I was really out there, my birthday is in March. Thank God that I had celebrated my birthday before all of this shit hit. My birthday is March the 10th. And I had just celebrated the weekend before. And then Monday came around and then COVID hit. And I was like, oh, Lord, thank you. I got a chance to celebrate, go out, party, meet all kind of people and all that. But then we fucking on lockdown. But I want y'all to think about this in leaving. What do y'all actually think like me that some kind of way he's brainwashing these people? Y'all, that's the only thing I could think of it. I something about some people makes them gullible or believe shit and follow people blindly. See, I could have a man that I love. He blowing me my back out every other night as much as I could take it. But if he is confused, simple, and like just say, you know how they said that you're supposed to follow your man along the pathways of life. Well, if he in front of me, he walking and it look like he confused and he wandering from side to side, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Get behind me. I'll lead us through this because you look a little confused. I'm not following nobody blindly, y'all. Like believe they actually believe he's the chosen one. Like I was sitting there one day watching these Trump people on YouTube. I said, chosen for what and by who? Because I know y'all don't think that he's anything God like or Jesus like. You know, who do you think chose him? The spawn of Satan? Because this he doesn't have no compassion. He arrogant and Jesus was humble. Y'all, I'm not even a religious person. To show y'all, okay, I believe in God. I don't go to church. I always tell my friends to try to get me to go. I'm sorry. I got some more sinning to do. I know that sounds bad, but I don't want to be a hypocrite, be humping on Saturday and be in church on Sunday. I know I'm 55 and it's come time where you should slow down. But I always tell God, forgive me. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be fake and be all in the church acting like I'm sanctified and I'm really not. I'm a sinner. I know I am. So I'm not about to be phony. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Y'all think about what I'm saying. What is it about America in this time that we are allowing all this stuff to happen? And we're not, like it's just when he does something, we just like, okay, well, he on his bullshit again. We don't really react like we would. Think about when Katrina happened. Think about how black people. Think about Kanye West being on television and in the midst of I think it was they were having like some type of benefit, and Kanye West just blurred out, George Bush doesn't care about black people. At least we were speaking up. Now people are just like, well, it is what it is. We just got a few more weeks and his motherfucking ass be out. What if November 3rd come and he ain't out, y'all? That he wins another 4 years. Y'all, I'm telling you. I better not say this because that'll be hypocritical if November 4th I'm sitting here in America and y'all be like, I thought she said she was moving to Canada. Y'all, if God is willing and the creek don't rise, I'll be like reporting to you from Quebec or Ontario, Canada. I have moved, y'all. I now reside in Canada. I will be back when that bitch is out the office. Then y'all know this bastard say if he get 4 more years, he won more than that. He won more than 8 years. You know what? He is in fucking sane. And I'm telling y'all, remember everything that's happening now, because one day we're going to have some grandkids and we're going to have stories to tell. Literally, when I finally do have some, if I make it to see them to the age where they start asking questions, because my kids ain't thinking about having no kids and I'm damn near 60. But just say I live and I make it and they start, I'm going to be like, sit yourself down. Because I want to be called Gigi, y'all, when I have some grandkids. Let Gigi tell you, I'm going to get me a drink. And I'm going to be like, once upon a time, we had this orange aberration. We don't know what planet he came from, but he was orange. And his hair was yellow. Because, y'all, this bastard is wearing Crayola number 5. That burnt orange color that's in the box of 64 crayons. And then when he goes to get his hair dyed, because y'all, if I'm 55 and I got some gray hair, this bitch got some gray hair too. So when he goes to get his hair, his comb over dyed, he not even telling them, oh, I want it ash blonde or I want it dirty blonde. He's saying, you know how I said his skin color is Crayola number 5, the burnt orange. His hair is lemon yellow. Y'all remember the box of 64 crayons and it had like 2 or 3 different yellows? His hair is one of those colors. What the freak did Melania see in him? We know it was his money, y'all. We because at this point, I think she's sick of him, but she has tied her lot to him and can't seem to let him go. But y'all, who I don't see how she even the thought of him rubbing up against me. Ugh, I don't care how much money he had, I couldn't do it. I and then you know how have you ever dated a guy who wasn't so attractive, but he was so freaking sweet that you like, you know what, it's hard to look at him, but he's so nice and he treats me so well. I'm gonna just have to like, date him, but not look real hard at him. Or I'm gonna take my glasses off. Y'all, I can't see without my glasses anyway. But it's like when I'm in his company, I'm just gonna take my glasses off so everything could be fuzzy because he is so nice. Eventually, you know, after you look at him for long enough, you find shit on him that's cute. but but you like them because they treat you good, that they're good people, and you're like, well, I don't care how he look, I don't give a fuck what nobody say, he treats me like a queen. She can't say that. He cheated on her right after she had Baron. Like, I think she might have still been pregnant, and he done, all these hookers and pole dancers then came out and was like, yeah, he paid me, he screwed me, and he paid me all this money. So what does she see in him? Like, is like when he reaches out his hand to her, it looks like she's fighting to keep from vomiting. She don't even want to touch him. And then if he hold her hands too long, it's almost like when she go to walk away, she be like, sanitizer, sanitizer, please. She don't love him. I could not. But you know what I think it is? This is what my mother said. My mother says she believes that, you know how Trump is one of those narcissistic people. I believe, like my mother said, that he's told her, try to leave me and you won't take Baron with you. Not that he really wants Baron, but he knows that if he prevents her from taking it, those men that they don't want them, but if they know it makes you unhappy, they say you can't take them with them, and she's afraid. I believe that's the only thing, because with a man like him, that could be the only thing threat that he could give me that would make me want to stay with him. Threaten to take my child away because she would be fighting what we thought was a billionaire, which, y'all, that's a whole nother story. The motherfucker only paid $750, y'all. Do you know that one year I owed, y'all, the first year that I did not file my daughter, she graduated from college, and I'm thinking, this is it, no more her income credit. This bitch is grown. I can't file her no more. She want to file herself. She don't live at home. And I actually owed them some money. I was like, what in all my entire adult life, I have never owed money. And basically, it's been since he's been president. I finished my taxes because I do my own. And I was like, wait, I owe? It wasn't a lot. It was a few $100s, but I ain't never owe. Now, I may not have gotten a lot back, maybe, $400 or something, but to owe a few hundred, and he ain't, this bitch supposed to be a billionaire and he paid 750. The IRS is not lying on him. They don't, the IRS do not play with you. They they don't have time for that with all these damn people filing taxes. They said this man has lost more money than any other person in the history of America. They said like billions of dollars. He's a simple motherfucker. Well, y'all, I got to get out of here because I got to eat, and I do have to rest because the job I have, I talk to people all day, and I can't believe that I was talking to y'all this long. But she said Melania is waiting for it to be over to say bye. But yeah, you're right. I'm just reading some of y'all comments. Melania is just as nasty as him. Yeah, I heard about them. Then she said, no, you need to go way more back than that, like September 11th, and finding out that George Bush knew of bin Laden, but Obama got him, y'all. Then she got, that's what I was wondering, why are people all in love with him for this? Yeah, It's because we living in the Twilight Zone. And when this episode is over, I actually believe we having a nightmare. We all are in a collective nightmare. I don't there's no other way to put it. And then I see somebody ask me, where in Italy did I go? I went to Venice, Milan, Switzerland, and some other place. I can't remember the name of it because I didn't really want to go there. I was thinking we came all the way here, and it's like this, y'all. You go to one city and then you catch this train called the Eurail. So like you get up in the morning real early, and then you go to the train station, and it's kind of like a nicer version of Amtrak, and then you can go from one like you can travel from, because we were staying in Milan. Our hotel was in Milan, and we would get up in the morning and go to the train station, and then we would go to Venice, or we would go here, or we would go there. And then it's just nice, y'all. If you ever now, I wouldn't be able to afford to pay all that now, because you got to think I was a travel agent, so I was just going with, it wasn't free. Like we had to pay, we got our ticket free, but then we had to pay to be upgraded to, we weren't in first class, we were in business class. Um, and then we had to pay for, but when I tell y'all how much I ended up paying for all of that, y'all gonna be like, bitch, that shit was free. So we had to pay for to be upgraded to business class, and we had to pay for our hotel. Now we were there with travel time, I think it was like 8 or 9 days. So my total for those whole 8 or 9 days was only $289. That's with my airline ticket, um, and like the hotel. The biggest part the most that I spent money on was trying to eat, because when you don't know what this shit say, like I had ordered something that I thought knew what it was, like, because you gotta think is the menu was in Italian, and it was some purple. When they brought it out, it was some purple greasy boiled eggs. So I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, you like, what is this? So let me tell y'all what after a couple days, what I was eating. So they have McDonald's just like America do. So, but the McDonald's wasn't real close. So when we would finally get near McDonald's, now y'all, the only thing I've ever eaten from McDonald's since I've been alive, I just like their what is that? I can't think of the meal that I always get from McDonald's whenever I do eat it. So, but when I went over in Italy, I was ordering everything on McDonald's menu, and I was having them put it in a shopping bag. So when I get hungry, that I would have some food. But then after a couple days, I started noticing that lasagna is spelled the same way in Italy as it is in America, and spaghetti, you can tell because it's spelled the same way. Pizza over there is not they think of pizza as bread. Like pizza over there is to be eaten with your meal, I guess, to sop up the sauce. Because I ordered pizza, and I thought I was getting a pepperoni pizza, and it had like 2 pepperonis on it and a whole bunch of sauce. I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, you be thinking, oh my God. And then like they had cheese stores where you could go in and buy like just like on television, where you see the lady come out with the long, like thing of bread, and it's in a shopping bag, and then you can go in there and you could buy cheese. The bread tasted like crackers. Y'all, this is so funny. I was trying to find shit to eat. You gotta think, I'm black, y'all. We eat soul food. So I'm over there like, what the fuck? I'm eating spaghetti and lasagna every day. So I'm a cheese lover. So I was like, well, okay, let me buy a whole bunch of cheese and, get this bread, because it's hard as crackers, and it actually tastes good. And also, y'all, let me tell you, when I went in the cheese shop, and I was like, remember I told you they was treating the black girl, the little chocolate chip over there, really nice. So when I went in there, I was trying to get them to understand that I wanted, like, they was picking up cheese, and I know cheese, you can cut the mold off, but y'all know we Americans and we don't get down with that. I was standing there, and it was this big block of cheese, and I was like, oh, they got cheddar, and it's really funky. This probably gonna be really good. But when he picked it up and took it off the wax paper, it had a big hunk of green on it. And I was thinking, oh shit, how I'm gonna tell him in English, I don't want that. And so it had mold on it. So I was standing there like, I'll be damned. So he had came from around the thing, and when I told y'all this Italian young man was fine, I he was trying to feed me some trees and wine. I was thinking, you know how you're thinking to yourself, not the one with the mold on it, not that. But after I looked in his eyes, I was like, I'm about to eat mold and all this motherfucker. Fine. I couldn't understand a goddamn word he was saying, but he gave me like extra bread, and I was telling him that I was hungry and that I didn't know how to. He could understand me, but I couldn't understand him. That's the problem. Like he would tell me, say again, and I would say, I'm hungry. You know, I can't eat McDonald's every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't understand the menu. I understand cheese and I understand bread. Give me some, like I wanted some cheddar cheese and some bread. Y'all know, like make like a cheese cracker. So he said, I do better. I give you all kinds of bread. You're beautiful black chocolate American woman. I was like, oh shit. I'm about to be living over here. These Italian men love a little chocolate. But y'all, they would, the part that I thought was funny is at first I didn't notice it. Guess who noticed it first? The white ladies I was with. They was like, you seem to be the flavor of the month over here. I said, isn't it odd? I said, I'm walking around, y'all, and I'm just the average black woman, nothing special. I'm a chocolate sister. I ain't even 5 feet tall, but something, I don't know if it's sympathy for us, the way that America treats us and they don't celebrate black women. But y'all, I'm not exaggerating when I say that all of those places that I told y'all that I went to, every woman that I met was very kind to me, and all their men. And literally, I was standing there like, look at these Italian women. Why are you even taking a second look at me? I know this got to be some type of fucking setup. Those women were beautiful. I didn't even know, like what about, was it like my skin is chocolate? Is exotic to these motherfuckers? I was grateful. Literally to one, y'all, at one point I was on this train and we were coming back from someplace going back to Milan, and this Italian older guy, at the time I probably was like 34, this Italian older guy kept talking to me from across the train. Now I was sitting by one of the people that I came with. So he kept like, he eventually moved over and kept talking. So eventually she was trying to be funny. It's like, well, let him sit by you since he keep interrupting our conversation. Now he can speak a little broken English, but this is what got me. So at the time I was married. So I kept telling him, I said, well, he was like, I know that you probably don't feel comfortable meeting me somewhere for dinner. I come to your hotel, then I buy you dinner and I make sweet love to you. You know how you be thinking, wait a minute. I said, well, how are we going to jump from dinner? So I was telling him, sir, I'm married. I appreciate it, because eventually it was kind of scaring me because they were very aggressive. Do y'all know? He kept on saying chocolate. And so I was like, what? What the hell do that mean? So this motherfucker licked my arm. Like, y'all, he started at my wrist and licked all the way up damn near to my shoulder. Now I'm sitting there like, oh Lord. Uh. We didn't have Clorox wipes shit back then. But I was sitting there, the people I was traveling with they were videotaping all of this happen. Now at the time I didn't know. And then he told me he was married, but what, and I was like, well, that's good because I am too. So we shouldn't be cheating on our spouses. Basically, he said, fuck her. What she don't know won't hurt her. And he told me that my marriage license was not valid in Italy. He was like, what hotel are you staying at? And the people I was traveling with thought this shit was funny. They was like, we're staying here. And I was like, what the fuck? what are y'all doing? And then they was about to give him my room number. I said, oh, hell no. I said, like he cute and everything. And I'm going to play along with it on the train. But when we get off the train, this shit is over. Because, first of all, I'm married to a brother and he probably got ESP. He probably over in Cleveland, like, wait a minute. This bitch is over there cheating. Wait till she get back. I would have been like, I was like, no. And I said, this is nice, but when I get on the plane to leave here, I'm gonna just be able to tell a story about this one day, y'all. I got his phone number. He gave me the phone number to his business. He was like, give him my phone number. He will fly me back to Italy. Girl, it was too much. They did a show, I think it was a couple years ago. It was on Bravo, and it was something called Made in Rome or Made in Italy or something. Those women that were on that show, I couldn't wait to watch it because I wanted to see if they were having the same experience that I had when I went over there. Now, what I will say when I watched the show, they did, but where I was a little scared because y'all know we used to brothers. They a little aggressive, but they ain't licking your arm and shit and saying on the first day you met them, like on the train, a brother will let you know I'm interested in. He'll be looking at your butt and stuff, but he don't just come on and say, I take you to dinner and then afterwards I'm going to make sweet love to you. You'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. But when I watched that show, I said, okay, I see that they must just like black women. I got that. I did get that. But when I watched the show, the women that they had on it was a little thirsty to me. Because to me, because they like you and you can kind of play your position. You don't gotta be thirsty and acting desperate. And to me, the women that they had on the show were acting like, you know, pretty much desperate, y'all. And I was thinking, it's making us as black women come off bad because they already like us. Like, just put it this way: over there, you don't have to try because you could be walking down the street and they will come up to you, beautiful, gorgeous. But again, I must say that I felt, how can I put it? While I was flattered, it just was kind of weird. It because I don't know if it's the suspicion, when you grow up in the hood, people got to prove that they ain't out to get you. So I was always on the thing where there's some type of setup. They trying to get me somewhere and do something to me. See, that's what I was thinking until I got back and I was telling my grandmother about what happened. And my grandmother was like, girl, them Italians like black women. And I said, what now? And my grandmother was telling me, they are attracted to black women. And I said, is it like they got jungle fever or something? Because you know how you're trying to see, is it real? Like, are they just attracted to us because we black? Like, what is the reason? I didn't get it. And it's kind of weird. But if you ever get the chance to ever go to anywhere over there, I'm telling you, once the virus is over and we can travel, if you ever get the chance, go with some girlfriends. Don't take your man. Go with some girlfriends and just experience it. Because it's been, since I went there, it's been quite a few years. And think about it. I'm still talking about it today because I was in shock. It made me feel good. And another experience that I had, and I'm going to tell y'all, this was weird too. I was walking down the street and I didn't really see a lot of black people. So the couple black people that I saw, they looked like they were African. Now when we walked by each other, we smiled, like we just made sure we made eye contact. But again, I couldn't speak Italian and they couldn't speak English. But I was walking down the street and then I saw somebody who looked like me. So I'm walking and this black girl was walking towards me and she just started smiling. When she got up to me, she started speaking and I could tell she spoke Italian and she could tell that I was American. But we stood there and we just looked at each other for a long time. We walked around each other and we just smiled. And then she held out her arms like she wanted to hug me. So then She looked just like a sister here in America. We just didn't understand each other. So I told her that I was American, and she said she was Italian, and we just hugged. And then we stood back and we looked at each other. And I remember when she went to walk away, she kept turning around looking at me. And then she got like a few feet away and she just stopped and she kept waving. It was almost like it just was a weird feeling because it made me understand that when they was dispensing us as slaves all over the world, that they sent some over there too. Because here was a girl that just looked like the average black girl in America, but I met her walking down the street. I think I was in Switzerland or something, just walking down the street, and she could not speak English, and I could not speak. But in other words, it was a sisterhood there that was understood, even though we couldn't verbalize it. She was actually happy to meet me. And I was happy to meet her because finally I was seeing somebody that actually looked like me, but she was over there. And then, like, when she turned around and she just stood there smiling, I was like, she she's happy to meet me. And it made me feel good. Y'all, I gotta get out of here. I'm hungry and I talk too much. And I can't believe y'all stuck around for my ramblings, but thank you. Y'all stay safe. I gotta eat dinner. I gotta go. I'll talk to y'all another time. Keep an eye on 45, y'all. And next week I'll be back talking about, but I'll probably be back Wednesday after the debate. See y'all soon. Bye bye now.